Hello, Taurus. Venus is trine Jupiter on the 4th, and Venus leaves Aries, the sign of Aries, on the 17th to ingress into Taurus, your sign, on the 18th. And with Venus ruling Taurus, that's going to cause less motion forward, per se, but more substantial progression. And that'll be something that will probably, you might feel a little bored, but it will be, again, more substantial. Because when it's been in Aries, Venus has been in Aries, it's been rather unsubstantial for you. Now, let's see how your ruling planet of Venus is going to affect you generally this month, Taurus. I'm Pastor Rosemary. Thank you for joining us. This is an angelic horoscope transmission from your Taurus angel Asmodel, who resides over your fixed earth nature. And these are his messages for you in love, money, and health. And just a little heads up, your guardian angel is Uriel. But Asmodel is your teaching angel. So the guardianship of Uriel works through the teaching of Asmodel. And that's how it lines up. All right, so on with the love transmission from Asmodel. Now, how is this Venus trine Jupiter facet on the 4th going to mix with the Venus square Pluto on the 5th? And on the 5th, there's also an aspect where you have a full moon in Virgo, which is mutable Earth. So how does this all stack up for you, Taurus? It's going to cause what you consider to be precious to your heart to be in a sort of a, not at odds with, but you're going to be conflicted about whether you want to keep something safe or whether you want to put it into a situation where it could be helped, but that might not necessarily injure it, but cause sort of a darkness to fall upon it. You're afraid of, in other words, maybe someone you care about, maybe a family member or friend or someone you care about or a spouse or whatever, to be placed in a situation where they might be exposed to some bad elements in society, but at the same time they may become more influential, or they may become more successful, either with influence or financially. So this is going to be how that plays out in the first week of March. March is a hectic month. So the fact that on the 17th and the 18th we have this movement into Taurus out of Aries, it'll be helpful because otherwise there'd be too much energy and things would get way out of hand and people could become too aggressive or even violent in matters of love. So you want to be thankful that sometimes things are brought into a more substantial state. There's the divine unsubstantial, which is the Godhead. Then there's the divine substantial, which is the angelic realm. Then there is the unsubstantial, which is what we consider the demigods or the heroes like Jesus Christ or Hercules. That's the unsubstantial. And then we have the substantial, which is the human beings. So the divine substantial, the angelic realm, and the substantial of the human realm are on the same wavelength of wanting to see something in the hand that they can, see with their senses or feel or, but many times the unsubstantial elements of the messianic types and the divinity types want to remind the substantialists that one must grow organs in these other realms with which to see, hear, smell, taste, and all of that and feel, and get used to being in the new spiritual realm, just like you had to get used to being in the physical realm, and you had to learn how to see and hear and walk and talk and all of that, and learn how to walk and learn what you were seeing and feeling. You had to learn that. So it's the same thing. And that can be done with much practice. Now, on that 5th, when there is a Venus square Pluto, which is this dark aspect coming into conflict with what you find comforting or substantial or precious, even for that matter. What happens is on that same day, when this square occurs, there is also, again, the full moon in Virgo, which causes an analytical effect to come up. And although Virgo is ruled by Mercury, still, it's an earth sign, and that will affect you, and it will want you to become more analytical in how you deal with things, rather than just having a reactive mode. So rather than just reacting, to think, analyze, and then use that part of the brain for you, Taurus, with which to handle all of these conflicting aspects about what you consider precious, but what you should also allow to square off against maybe some darker elements by increasing your understanding of light and dark, and good and evil, and male and female, and day and night. Because if we're only in the sunshine, if the earth was covered with sun all the time, we would burn. And if the earth was covered with only darkness and there was no sun, we would freeze. There has to be some orb with which to give. So, one has to begin to understand the necessity of the dualistic nature of the 3rd dimensional plus the 4th dimension of time realm that we find ourselves in. On the 20th, that's a big day, Taurus. Just on that day, just run for cover. Don't even try to understand people, because there is going to be a total solar eclipse in Pisces. And that will be visible from Europe. Total solar eclipse in Pisces, not on the 20th, not visible again until, not that kind of event not happening again until 2026. The totality again visible from Europe. So you might want to catch that. Now, we're going to catch it. Now, on the 20th, there's also a new moon in Pisces. And we're just using GMT. That's all. So, because we travel so much and we're going to different continents, so, we have to just find something that's level. Okay. So people are going to be erratic. People are going to have too much energy and be flying off the handle. And you need to understand that people will be flippant, and they will they'll be very dismissive, Taurus. And understand that they've learned that. To be fair to these people, you need to understand they've learned that from you. They've learned to, be dismissive when, at times. And they've learned that from you. Because that's a very bullish nature. And that's sort of digging in your heels nature. Now, the money transmission from Asmodel. Venus is trine Jupiter and on the 4th, and that is going to be a great day for financial success. It'll be a good day for you to feel good about yourself in matters of love. And we'll see in a moment, it's very good for health. However, in money matters, that's going to be a great time. Again, as long as you don't completely stop, but allow a proper competition with something that you find very precious. You might want to put some of your precious money to work. You might want to, on the 5th. On the 4th, you accumulate or see what you have accumulated. On the 5th, you have to risk it, if it's money. Or someone who you find precious who could make you money. But you're stopping them because you find them too precious. They need to be commercial. But anything can be commercial as long as one just does it. That's all. Because people tend to like what they constantly are fed. I mean, if you're fed something every single day, you're going to start to like it. That's all. It's very simple. That's all it takes. How many actors and actresses have we hated when we first saw them? And over the years, as we're fed them over and over and over, we come to like them, even though at first we couldn't stand it. We thought they were disgusting. But you get told something over and over and over and over, and then everybody thinks that's so, I better think it. It's just like that. And so it has nothing to do with reality. It has to do with what everybody agrees to. So what you need to do is just understand that if you just keep doing the same behaviors over and over in a pre-calculated format that you want to utilize, it will be financially beneficial and successful for you, especially in March. It's a good month, but beware the Ides of March on the 15th, because the subordinates who are now the subordinates under who used to be the subordinates, so the people who are subordinate now used to be in charge. And on the Ides of March, they're going to want to usurp the people that have usurped them and take back their power. So just understand that. And with Saturn going retrograde in Sagittarius on the 15th, understand that that's going to bring old medieval laws back into effect. Now, your health transmission from Asmodel, Taurus. Okay, this day of the planet Venus trine Jupiter on the 4th, that's a very good day to be very healing of the throat chakra, the kidneys. That's the cervical spine, the lumbar spine. That's the thyroid. And, the people who have trouble with their voice box, people who've been smoking too much, good day to bring in healing and work with those kinds of addictions. The kidneys, that kind of thing. A lot of healing energies coming through the dimensions on that day. Okay? They come through Venus, and they come through Kabbalistic paths. The planets are like the Sephirot, and it comes through the paths, and it works off other planets or Sephirot, like Venus is Netzach in Christian Kabbalah, and Jupiter is Chesed in Christian Kabbalah. You understand. So, these paths can be used for healing if you know how to work them properly. It's Rosicrucian Kabbalah. Now, you would be feeling like utilizing kind of more quirky or different, new or unusual forms of healing in March due to these planetary facets. And these types of things, like acupuncture and moxibustion, those types of things, will be helpful for people that have never tried it before. But in actuality, if that's not your race, it won't be that effective for you. If you're of a race where you like more technological ways of healing, there is going to be an enormous increase of technical, let's put it this way, new technological gadgets and methods with which to heal the body. That's going to be made available. So one can either want to utilize, with the Saturn going retrograde, the more ancient techniques like acupuncture, moxibustion, all of that, or You can utilize the new technological wonders that are going to be, that are coming out now and are going to increase. I mean, there's machines that can do surgery now. And that's going to get ever increasingly something that people want to do more. Because there's nothing a human can do that a machine can't do faster, cheaper, and better. We'll find out. It's the people who work on these machines that are really going to bring home the bacon. Okay. Now, for your afterglow, Taurus, some of the facets to highlight this month of March. Venus trine Jupiter on the 4th, that's a good day. And Venus also is conjunct Uranus on that day. On the 5th, Venus is square Pluto. On the 8th, the moon is in opposition to Venus. That's going to be something when it comes to the desires and also the deep recesses of the subconscious mind. That's going to put religion against desires. The 8th, moon opposing Venus. On the 23rd, Venus trine Pluto. On the 24th, Venus sextile Neptune. And on the 28th, Venus square Jupiter. So that original trine kind of goes into a more competitive aspect on the 28th. So enjoy the earlier part of the month for all that good energy. All right, Taurus. Thank you for joining us. I'm Pastor Rosemary, and join us again next month.